Hey guys, so we're going to continue from our last video with the flax detector, and we're going to make it a bit more intelligent. We're going to stop it from detecting flax inside the inventory, and we're going to make it so it doesn't simply spam click the plant each time and wait till you've picked it before picking the next plant. We're going to start with a new detector to detect the inventory, which we'll call the HUD detector. And to begin with, we're just going to display our screenshot just to make sure it's working. If we run that, yep, that's working great. And we're going to create a new method to find the inventory rectangle and just assign it to a property at the top of the class and just call it from inside the detect method. So as for the contents of the method, we're going to convert our image to the HSV color format, and we're going to use our inRange function just to detect any brown pixels inside our image. And show it out to the screen. And you see the method takes a minimum and a maximum, so we're going to use our sliders just until the inventory disappears. And saturation. And finally vibrance. We can take these values and plug them into our methods. And run it. And you can see there's little white blobs all around, and so we're going to remove them using the erode function. The erode function just makes any white bit smaller, which gets rid of any little white blobs completely. And there we go, that's just the inventory now. Now we've found the inventory, we need to find a bounding rectangle for it, so we're going to use the find contours function. And we're going to spin through each contour and check its area, and if it's bigger than any areas we already found, then we're just going to assign it to the largest contour. And then we can get the bounding rectangle of that contour, and let's just draw that out to the image to make sure it's working properly. And we can return that rectangle now that we found it. And there we have it, a rectangle around our inventory. So we're just going to do some more tests, and we're going to draw a rectangle around each inventory slot just to make sure they're all in the right place. And you see it's not perfect, and that's because there's some padding around the inventory. So we're just going to remove that. And there we go, now it's perfect. Okay, the next step is to create a method that returns the image with the inventory completely blacked out. So we're just going to draw a black rectangle around our inventory rectangle. And we can use this in our flax detector. So we're going to inject in our gain controller. And reassign our frame with an image with the blacked out inventory. Now if we run that, you'll see we've got a blacked out inventory and it's not detecting any flax inside the inventory. So we're back in our HUD detector and we're just going to create a method that checks if a given inventory slot is empty. We're just going to shout a screenshot just to make sure it works. And it does. So first step is to get the row and the column for our inventory slot item. And we can use those to get a rectangle around the slot. And then extract it out as an image. There we go, we've got our flax plant. And we're going to convert it to the OSRS color space and use the same in-range function that we did before to select any brown pixel colors. So you can see all the white pixels there are our brown background. Of course, we're interested in the foreground, so we're just going to flip it around using the bitwise not function. So you can see any white pixels there are our flax plant. If we run that on an empty inventory slot, see brown background, then white, and there's no foreground pixels. So to check if an inventory slot is empty, we just check if there's no white pixels in the foreground. And we're just going to create another method here to return the first empty inventory slot. So for each inventory slot, we'll check if it's empty. If it is, we'll return it. Otherwise, we'll return -1. Now we can modify our flax detector, and we're just going to get the first empty inventory slot. And if there isn't one, then we know we're done. If there is, we're going to click on our flax plant, and we're going to wait until that slot isn't empty anymore. So we check if it's empty, and if it is, we're just going to sleep for a little bit. Otherwise, we can stop. Now it's time to test it. So we can see it's going to pick the flax plant, and it's going to wait until it's in our inventory before picking again. And if we walk over there, yeah, it waits till we finish walking. And when our inventory is full, it stops completely. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and leave any feedback in the comments. And if you want to see more videos, please subscribe.